Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Extravagantly Reoccurring Power Half Hour Hotline Thursday edition. Is it Smells Like Thursday? I can't remember. Thursday flavored? What is it, Lane and Tyler?
Something smells like Thursday.
So I'm telling you what, there was a poop diaper somewhere in here, and it smells like Thursday. So, hey, everybody, thanks so much for being flexible today. We have some technical difficulties. So what we're doing, if you're watching this in the future, in the year 2021, right. Then that means, first of all, we made it through the coronavirus epidemic. So hoorah.
Well,
and also,
present company excluded, we made it.
We made it. It also means that Ole Miss has just won the national championship. So,
that's right. Preach.
Yeah,
what is it like to be a dreamer?
Look, they just announced UFOs. They just announced that it's the coronavirus. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. There's an asteroid hurtling towards us right now.
The government is so fed up. They're just like, fine, Australia was our fault. Aliens are real. The coronavirus.
I forgot about Australia. What in the world?
There's an asteroid teetering towards Earth. Don't worry.
I didn't hear about that one. That's news.
They're just done. They're done with it. Next, they're going to release all the president's secrets. Not just this one.
All of them. Like National Treasure 2, Book of Secret? Or the
very similar.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible. But like I was saying, welcome to the Extravagantly Reoccurring Power Half Hour Hotline, Smells Like Thursday edition. I'm Tyler, and with me, as always, we have Tyler and Lane.
What's up? Good to be here.
There's that thing. And we also have my brand new set by the wonderful Homeschool Dragon Meat, a.k.a. Daisha. So thank you for that. And we are excited to get going. It's good to see y'all's faces. We're going to have to do this sometime because seeing a live audience, a live interactive group is a whole different thing. So it's good to see y'all. We're happy you're here. And then also seeing a cat that cries in yeehaw, that's inspirational, Chris. So
yeehaw.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a good show today. But first, how's the week been so far? Lane, Tyler, what's going on?
It's been good. Got a fresh haircut. I was desperate. I was needing it. My landlord, Ryan Ezel, shout out to him. He cut my hair. It was a one-time deal, so don't ask him to cut yours.
Is he legit your landlord?
Yeah, he is legit my landlord. I legit give him money every month.
I did not know that. I thought you were messing with me when you said, "Oh, my landlord came."
No, absolutely not. He came by.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're getting ceiling fans in the living room soon.
Man.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah. The grill is up and running. It's working. It's cooking. Y'all will see that in a little bit in a segment later. I'm excited for that.
Well, that's great. Tyler, what about you? What's going on?
It's been good. I've been drowning in housing paperwork as well as homework paperwork. And yeah, it's been good.
Well, good. Everybody, just so you know, today's Who Will Win is going to be part 2 of the Kangaroo Panda.
Part 2 with Pardue.
Part 2 with Pardue.
Part 2 with Pardue the Panda.
So that'll be coming up here in a little bit. If you need to hit pause right now and go watch Josh's incredible video. Nightwing Man Bro.
Nightwing Bro Man person.
If you need to go watch his video, then do that because he did an incredible job with it. But also, if you just joined us, thank you so much for being here. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Also, you need to know you're welcome to leave your face on or off, but the deal is we're recording right now. We're going to upload this to YouTube later. So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page with that. But
this is a social contract by our telling you about it and your agreement. We are showing we're not liable for your face being.
This is like the warning that you can't fast forward through on a DVD.
Bethany was like, "I'm out." So anyway, for my week, I went to work today. We kind of have a rotation of who goes in the office. So we say social distanced and all that. And it was my turn on the pastor rotation to go in. So that was
all the Tylers were there. Actually, we were all there at one point.
Yeah, everybody came at some point.
It's the triler.
It was kind of depressing to me though, because I haven't worn like jeans or long pants in about a month.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. You know, I've become accustomed to just wearing my basketball shorts. So it's going to be a hard transition back whenever this is over.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have show and tell with Lane today. Lane,
that's right. All right. So here we go. We're starting fresh. We're starting good. We're gonna take a little field trip here. We're gonna stand up. Didn't know that could happen, did you? So here we are. We're walking into the backyard. See, just let me know if y'all need me to turn around or do anything. First of all, here's our fire pit. Can you see that?
Nice.
We're gonna walk out to that. We're gonna see that.
Is that where you sacrifice animals?
Built this a couple
I
of
hope
weeks
its
ago.
Wi-Fi stays.
It's awesome. It's got some charred wood in there. We burned some stuff the other night. It was awesome.
That was somebody's cat.
Here's Severus. Here's my roommate's dog. There he is. Everybody.
He's missing
Hello,
2 of his
Severus.
3 heads.
Named after the great Snape.
Severus Snape.
Here we go. All right. Here's the grill.
I thought it was the
Can
3-headed
we
dog.
see it? Can we see it?
Oh,
We can see it. We can see
Here
it.
it is.
I
So it's
can
got-
see it. Yes.
We got.
We're cooking
We got-
now.
All right. let's
Amy
see, hold
Johnson
up.
is snapping.
We got 4 burners. This is our gas portion. I need to scrape it. If you can see that, it's got the hot dog tray here.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Classic.
Yeah, it
Here's
does look
our-
like it needs to be cleaned.
Yeah, here's our
I can
our
definitely
charcoal.
tell.
Here's our charcoal section. Haven't used that yet. Oh, it's gonna fall. Here's some extra firewood down here in storage.
Yeah.
Here's our side burner. That's
What do you
that's
use that
good-
one
good
for?
Stuff. If you just want to cook some baked beans or some veggies or whatever
Like
you
a
got.
can of corn.
That's
Baked
right.
beans was the first thing that came to mind.
I'm just spitballing here, and then here's our smoker. We haven't got that fully set up yet, but it's ready to go.
Amy says,
So-
"Do you smell what Lane is cooking?"
That's right. So we're gonna head back inside now.
I wish you had
Severus,
just done a rock impression.
He's
No.
going to the
It doesn't
bathroom. So yeah, I've cooked some sausages. I've cooked steak and pork chops, and
Oh wow,
man, the sky's the limit for what's going
it's
to be cooked next.
meat-tastic.
So we're ready. I'm very ready to cook some more stuff. Here comes
Nice.
Severus back inside. That's good. Oh yes, Jess says we're doing fajita burgers, so I think that's happening tomorrow night.
What does that mean?
Classic.
It's like you make a hamburger patty, but you put like taco fajita seasoning in the burger
Oh.
buns.
Duh.
Fajita
Yeah.
burgers.
This guy.
And there's the grill. That's all I got.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Lane. That's a little show and tell with Lane. I didn't ask Tyler to prepare anything or myself. I'm just thinking right now. Tyler, do you have anything just lying around that you really want people to know about? A lamp that you've knocked down recently, or
Yeah,
that's right.
here's the lamp that Brittany is very mad that I broke.
you really did
Oh,
break
no.
it.
See, it's broken.
That's awesome.
And let's tell them the story of what happened.
I high-fived the lamp.
High
So you know
five.
how like on all of our screens, our squares are different, and me and Tyler were pretending to high five, and he went straight to his lamp, and it just shattered live. It was awesome. It was really funny. That's the whole story, really.
That,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
here's my calendar.
Hey,
As you can see, there's nothing on it.
good old calendar.
Nice, nice.
Is his name Cal?
Our calendar right now, they should just wrote in like 100 font "survive" over all the boxes.
Help me. What else do I have? I've got my backpack, some books.
That's fun times.
What do you got?
I have we got
Oh,
Monster
cheater.
Venom right here. We've got Spider-Man right here. He's gonna fall because I just touched him. Oh, good save, Spidey. We got Wolverine in street clothes right there.
That's right.
Sword fighting with his best bud Nightcrawler that we
Love
unboxed
it.
live the other
Oh
day.
yeah.
Hey, and I know you're like, why aren't we unboxing more toys today? Because we're saving that for next week because I've got a good one. It's going to be Havoc and Polaris. That's right, from the animated series, and it's going to be fire.
Mhm.
So, but my biggest show and tell thing is what I mentioned earlier is the shelves and the wall right behind me, my new setup. My wonderful wife spent a long time. Actually, our bathroom downstairs has this wallpaper now. So like, it's great. But then also right behind me are bookshelves that have some actual reading materials when I learn how to read that I can go over. And then I'm going to put more toys on these right here, and it's going to be a good little study place and podcast place. So I'm excited about that. But that's show and tell today. If you have anything that, and we didn't, like we're talking about, we had technical difficulties. So this is all kind of on the fly. If you have something right now that you're like, I want to show and tell right now, I'm in the Zoom, you let us know and we'll unmute
That's
you.
right.
We'll
We'll give y'all like 30 seconds each. If you
I was
got
going to
something.
say we'll give you 15 seconds. But
That 15's okay.
Samuel
right.
Hanley. Samuel
Nightwave
Hanley
Bro
still
Wing.
has that back room.
you're unmuted. Your 15
So-
seconds have begun.
So this it is an adapter that has SATA ports on it,
What does
It
that
came
mean?
from.
What does that mean?
So basically, it connects to this hard drive. You can see the
Uh-huh.
parts right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
SATA connectors. That's SATA power, and that is SATA data. So basically, this adapter came from an external hard drive that I took apart, and I can use it. I took apart a laptop. I got this hard drive, so I can plug this into here, connect it to power and USB mini, and I can plug it into my computer and get data off of it.
Okay,
Cool.
now
So
tell it to
Skynet was
me
born.
like I was in third
It
grade.
looks like it's missing some housing, but overall, it looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nightwave Wing. Amy, what you got?
So I have a crochet kit, but it's all Harry Potter.
Oh,
That's awesome.
In
It
this
shows
first pack,
itself.
you can make Dobby with a sock and Harry Potter.
Love that.
But if
That's
you give
really
Dobby
cool.
the socks,
Actual, like-
then you don't get to keep him anymore because he's not your slave.
But the crochet hook is a wand.
I see that.
nice.
I see that Order of the Phoenix poster behind you.
Solid. All right. Thank you so much, Amy. Who else had something? All right. Well, okay. We got Rebecca over here. What you got, Rebecca?
I got 2 old VHS.
VHS. Oh,
what?
Gerber.
the Gerbert.
Herbert. I used to watch that in the van.
P. Salty's Fantastic Praise Party.
It's
Yeah.
actually just, it's salty.
Awesome.
The P is silent, but it's like Psalms. And that was the original Christian Barney.
Oh yeah,
Man,
for sure.
Sal-
Yeah, Salty the
Salty-
Singing Songbook.
Salty
Oh,
the Singing
100%.
Songbook is great stuff.
Fun fact: my wife, her dad did Billy Graham crusades, and so they got like legit Salty to dance on stage with kids.
The
and she
real
was
Salty?
one of the kids. Yeah.
The
That's
real
incredible.
Salty came to Whitesburg Baptist in like 01.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Salty was
And-
already
and-
83 years old.
Oh, if I could
Bible
go
man.
back to any moment in time, that would be slightly outside my top 10.
Twombly,
but, like,
Twombly,
not
there
far.
has Twombly, there has been a Bible man lightsaber fight on the stage in the sanctuary.
That's
Ooh,
incredible.
wow.
That's just incredible.
Maybe it should be in my top 10.
All right. So now we're going to move on to sports with Tyler. So Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, today I wanted to talk about maybe your angriest moment in sports. I'm excited to hear from each of you. Mine, I'll lead it off. I was playing soccer in high school. I was playing for the JV team. I think I was a freshman, and I had the ball. I was dribbling. We were playing against our rivals. Our team was Massabesic High School. I played for the public school because there's not enough homeschoolers in Maine. And Bonnie Eagle was our rival. We were playing him, and I was going back and forth with this one kid. I was dribbling past him. We were kind of like being aggressive. I think I nutmegged him once. And then I got by him, and he literally grabbed me, did a 360, and threw me. Like, I'm not kidding. He literally tossed me, which wasn't saying much at the time. I think I was probably 125 soaking wet. He throws me, and the referee runs over. Everybody's mad. This referee, by the way, was turning to dust as he was walking over, okay? He blows the whistle. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
He blows the whistle, and he gives me the yellow card. I was astounded. Everyone on the sideline was yelling. They were like, "You've got the wrong guy." We were playing at Bonnie Eagle, so half the parents were like, "Yeah," and then the other half were like about to fight. And this old man is still turning to dust, and he was the side referee. The head referee comes over and was like, "Who are you giving the yellow card to?" And he points directly in my face, like so.
Yeesh, young
I-
whippersnapper right here.
I'm still astounded. The rule was that we had to sit on the sideline for like 10 or 15 minutes after
Time
getting
out.
a warning like that. So I run off the field. Our coach is so mad he calls the game because it was such a bad call. Everybody was irate. It was incredible. And then I played goalie for the varsity team right after that, and we lost 10-1. It was great.
Wow.
That is
Fun.
that's
I was so mad. I still
Good
think
one.
about that, and I'm like, how could that referee have been so dumb and so old?
I think that Tyler, 10 years later, is still bitter.
You know, I really peaked athletically in high school, so not a lot to look forward to.
Daisha, your hand is up. Are you trying to say something? Nope, she said no. All right, Lane, what you got?
All right. So, as some of y'all know, I attended Grissom High School as a high school student. Good
I didn't know
times.
that.
Love Grissom. Virgil I till I die. But my freshman year.
So in heaven, you'll be a Huntsville fan?
Too soon.
Wow. We'll see. There was a long running streak where Huntsville High School beat Grissom in football like 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
And my freshman year, we beat Huntsville. It was very exciting. We rushed the field. It was great. And then the next 2 years, my sophomore and junior year, we lost. And then my senior year, the score was going back and forth. And at the very end, we were tied up. Grissom had the ball, and we were on the 5-yard line, and we were going for a 2-point conversion. We were going to win the game. And the play started. A man ran into the end zone. Grissom's quarterback threw it. The ball was caught. We got a 2-point conversion. Everybody went nuts. We were on the fence. We were screaming. We were excited. But the referee, just like Twombly said, made a bad call. He said there was an illegal man downfield. We got the points taken away from us. We were very upset. I'm still upset about it to this day. And then Huntsville came back, got the ball, and then ran for another touchdown. And everyone was very mad.
Mm. That's a good one.
That's a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Lane.
Yeah.
I think my bride there has a story.
Oh, I do have a story. Okay.
Is this the
State
Moncrief?
Oh no, it's me. Okay, I played. I was point guard at state basketball championship, and it's the refs again. I
Humble brag.
fouled out senior
does
year
that?
of the state game. It
That's
was
awful.
terrible. It was
It hurts
awful.
my heart.
We lost.
Was it the refs? Were the refs just calling it too tight, or were you really fouling like you do when we play?
Yeah, I'm a fouler.
Dacia's a baller. If y'all didn't know that, she's a baller shot caller.
Oh no, not anymore. No, I
Got
just have
those-
really long arms. Say hi.
Really long arms.
Hey.
Hello, daughter.
Hello,
All right,
daughter
well, thank
of
you,
homeschool
thank
dragon
you,
meat.
thank you, Dacia.
Doctor.
Yeah, doctor. So about, I'm going to say 19 years ago, maybe 18 years ago, there was a basketball game in Bowling Green, Louisiana. And in that game, Brookhaven Academy was playing, and I was very close to the action, as I always was, just
What
right on
sport?
that bench in basketball. So
You were
I
riding
was,
the pine pony.
I was the
That's
captain
great.
of the gray team, which was the third string. And by captain, I mean, that's what I said. And so I'm sitting there by my friends, and like the really important stuff that we do is like during free throws, we would cross our legs, and like if you make it, you stomp twice and you go to the other side and stuff like that. You know, that's how we entertained ourselves. But this particular game, we started to pay attention because we realized, like, have you ever been somewhere where you could tell a fight's about to happen and you're like, you just feel uncomfortable, and there's just like, there's a feeling around. You can tell something's about to go down. Something was
yeah.
about to go down.
It's tension.
We had this player that was really good, but he was a hothead, and like you weren't allowed to dunk in private school basketball, and he went up and like dunked or grabbed the rim or tried to dunk or something, and they called a tech on him, and he's like pounding the ground and stuff. And I think this is the same game, but what I know for a fact is that for some reason their fans got really mad at a call. So after we got some bad calls against us, we ended up like that we were winning by a lot. It was really early in the game, and they called something on the other team on Bowling Green, and I mean that it was like a break, like something not just in one person, but like collectively a group of people just snapped at the same time. And it was the scariest and craziest thing that I've ever seen in person. I'm sitting there on the bench, like front row action of seeing what's happening, as like almost in slow motion. If you've ever been to a basketball game, a lot of times there's a scores table, and right behind the scores table, there's the fans, right? So these two dudes jump over the bars that were right next to the scores table, run onto the court, and just start punching the referee. The ref's on the ground, stands clear, and like our players are being pulled back by coaches and stuff. Our coach goes and tries to pull the guys off of the ref because one of the Bowling Green fans that has on like cowboy boots and stuff, because this was like I grew up in South Mississippi, and this was North Louisiana. It's like swamps and country and all that kind
Oh
of stuff.
yeah.
And everybody was ready to throw down that day. And a guy's like, they're trying to kick the ref while he's on the ground. And then like the stands start clearing. And what they do is they stop the game. Obviously, they have to forfeit. We get hustled. We don't even get to change. We go to the dressing room, get our stuff, get on the bus. The cops escort us back over state line. So it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was
Yeah,
like on
I've
the
heard
news
parts
and
of
on
the
these
story.
crazy there used to be these crazy sports shows where it was like, hey, something crazy happened. Take a look at this. And you could see like the shaky camera, like people fighting and stuff. It was like awesome. I had the best seat in the house.
I forgot about those cameras.
One of my friends looked at me that was right by me on the bench, was like, do we need to go out there? And I was like, heck no, man. We're staying right here. I'm not about to go get in this brawl with these guys wearing steel-toed boots kicking referees. I'm a 16-year-old boy. Like, I wasn't getting in that mess.
That's the same reason I love to watch like live PD or like Cops.
It was
first
just in
48.
real life. So it was crazy. And I mean, this was literally like 2001, 2002, something like that. It was a long time ago, but it was one of the craziest. I vividly remember a lot of it. I'm sure it's one of those things where there's some things that are like, I think I combined two games when I said the dunk thing, now that I'm thinking about it. But the stands cleared, there was fighting, referees were going crazy. It was nuts. So that's my sports story. And now it's time to move on. Oh, actually, we'll do this. Does anybody else in the viewing audience have a sports story they would like to share? It looks like Eli Husky does.
Okay. So this past year in basketball, I'm just young enough to be on the middle school team, but I really should have been on JV. But I was playing on middle school, right? And this one game, we were playing. We're in a conference with a lot of teams from Tennessee, and they play really physical up there. We hadn't really experienced a lot of this before, so the entire game we just like are getting beat up. Our starting point guard, he's 5 foot. He's like on the bench, worn out. I think he's bleeding from one of his ears because like something
Crying.
somebody cut him in the game. Then our next point guard, he had to sit out because he was too tired from being pushed around as well. So
Weeping.
it's down to like the backup point guard, me, our other big guy who's a monster, and 2 other people who's one of the others was a starter. And so after like one guy literally got trucked, everybody was super mad about it. I was like, because he hit his head really hard on the ground, and like nobody knew how to react except for like was screaming at everybody, and it was very intense. But
Loud noises.
in the heat of the moment, like they just left him on the ground, and I saw that, and then the guy went up to like shoot, and I was so mad, and for some reason I became like super, like my arms became super long that one time, and I like he shot it, and I smacked the ball across the room, and that never happened again. But it was amazing, and it was horrible at the same time because the guy, I think, almost got a concussion. But yeah, that's my sports story.
There you go. Well,
That
thank
was
you
good.
so much. That's a good one.
I imagine when Michael Jordan in Space Jam is like stretching his arm and it just like keeps going.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, so I know that we had a certain schedule we were going to follow. We're going to postpone the animal battle until next week because we're almost out of time. But before we do the Devo, I want to do one thing. I want to get to the movies with Lane. We have a very specific thing we're going to talk about today. So Lane, take it away.
All right. So today we're talking about what is the most hopeful scene in a movie, whether it's like hope for the characters, hope for the story, hope with our hope in Christ. When I think about that, what I think about is the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And I think of the scene specifically of Aragorn encouraging his soldiers at the Black Gate. And then I thought again, and I said, no, there's a better one. It's when Gandalf is talking to Merry, and Merry, they're battling in the castle, and Merry says, like, I'm afraid of death, and Gandalf says, well, death is just another path, and then like once you die, like you'll see this glory. And I have it pulled up here. Merry says, you see what, Gandalf? And you see white shores, and and beyond, a far green country under a swift sunrise, which is describing heaven and like unity with God. And then Mary says, well, that isn't so bad. And Gandalf says, no, it isn't. And it's talking about like death isn't the end, and like heaven is awaiting for us after we die if we have faith in Christ.
Solid. It's a good one. It's a good one. Tyler?
I was just thinking one. I had a good one. Hold on. You go, and I'll see if I can
Okay.
find it.
So mine is very recent. It's also, I thought about making today's movie thing your favorite in-person movie moment. And this is actually it's the same one. So this happened about a year and a day ago. I'm sitting in the movie theater and watching the culmination of the greatest series of movies to ever bless mankind. And that, of course, is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's Avengers Endgame, and it's that final battle. And Thanos and Captain America and Iron Man and Thor have been throwing down. And this is while the snap has already happened in the previous movie. People haven't come back, or as far as we know. And it looks like Thor's out for the count. It looks like Iron Man's out for the count. And down for the count, and then Captain America gets up and he has the broken shield and his arms all messed up, and he kind of tightens it and he looks up, and there's that moment of this sea of evil darkness, Thanos' forces just against Captain America, and he's not giving up, but he's like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to just lay down and let it end. And then all of a sudden you hear Cap on your left, and you're like, whoa, that sounds like Sam. And then all of a sudden, you hear it more clearly. On your left, Cap, and the portals start opening up, and you see the Black Panther and everybody from Wakanda come out. You see the people that were on, were they on Titan? Like Doctor Strange and the Guardians, and Spider-Man swings in. And there's this as a person in the movie that's like me, that is a person that likes toys like these and comics and all that kind of stuff since I was like as early as I can remember, I'm just like so happy that I'm almost crying, and I'm not even lying. Like I'm like just
I cried.
filled up with joy, and
I cried.
I did too. I'll get to it, but I'm like, I don't even know what to do, and Daisha's sitting right beside me, and I'm trying not to cry because I'm like, I don't want her to think I'm more stupid than I already am. And finally I'm like, I don't even care. But I'm like filled up with this joy and this hope, and then all of a sudden everybody's there. It's hundreds of heroes, and he says Avengers, and you know what's going to happen. And all of a sudden he calls Mjolnir to him, which is a huge deal. That's a payoff after a really long time. And he catches it, and he goes, assemble. And everybody in the movie theater just goes nuts. I mean, everybody's like, ah, like screaming at it. And I'm like, ah, and like I have tears coming down my eyes. I'm just so happy. And it just starts this epic battle scene that's like 20 minutes long. It's just my favorite moment ever. And there's like, in my mind too, as a pastor who is a nerd, or a nerd who is a pastor, there's like spiritual implications to like remembering like sometimes it's going to feel like you're alone, and then all of a sudden you're going to remember, oh yeah, Jesus has your back. So you got to like, you stand firm in the faith and all. Right. I mean, there's 100 series that we can do on that, but yeah, that's my moment.
And
so
what's great about that scene is like every character gets their own moment. Nobody is left to the side. Everybody gets their scene, and it's great.
Oh, it's so good. I loved it so much. Tyler, what you got?
I'll go just more silly, I guess. I was in the theater, me and my friends. It seemed like there was this big epic battle in the movie we were watching. I'll tell you the movie, don't worry. It's a part of the climax. And so we're in this movie, and it seems like the battle is coming, and it begins to happen. There's explosions everywhere. There's loud roars, and it's just incredible. The theater is quiet, and
Sonic the Hedgehog.
The hero goes down, and you're like, oh no, the hero is gonna die. The world's gonna be destroyed. How's this gonna happen? And then all of a sudden, the spikes on his back start glowing, and everybody goes nuts. And all of a sudden, Godzilla breathes fire.
Yes. And it does that slow, like
the entire theater. Kind of like every time during one of those. Is it Jason Bay? Is that the guy who does all the explosion movies? Michael Bay. It's like a Michael Bay movie where it's always got that boom, like that sound in the background. Like that's his spikes lighting up, and he breathes fire, and the hero wins, and the whole theater went crazy. People were standing, clapping. It was by far one of the best experiences
Man,
I've ever had.
if it happens, we're getting Godzilla versus King Kong this year.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember
Not
when
as
we used to go to
hopeful
movie
maybe
theaters,
as
too.
some of you had gone, but I mean, it meant a lot to me.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love Godzilla. Godzilla's awesome.
It's a good
Well, that's a
movie.
fun conversation. Y'all let us know what your favorite ones are in the chat. But right now, we're going to transition into Spit and Truth with Tyler Twombly.
Hello.
Hi.
That's me.
That's
I
him.
said in the chat, I hope I gave you enough time to get your Bibles out. The passage is from 1 John chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. I hope you're excited. Here we go. My little children, I'm writing these things to you so that you may not sin. But if anyone does sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous one. He is the propitiation for our sins, and not only for our sins, but also the sins of the whole world. So I just like this verse. It's something that I've had to do for a class, and I wanted to share with you guys because during this pandemic, you can feel like alone and far away from people. And when I feel that way, when I feel more depressed or sad, I kind of think that whatever way life is the way that it's going to stay. And so I might go back to old sin or old ways that were habits of mine before I knew Jesus. And I want to encourage you with this because you're not alone. Christ is our advocate to the Father, that even though times are hard now, even though we go through a little bit of suffering, because we're in Jesus' name and because he's with God the Father in heaven, he's like, imagine like a little kid like pulling at his dad's sleeve. Like, that's him. He's an advocate for us. He's like pulling at God's sleeve, saying like, hey, don't forget your promises. Like, so he is even more faithful to us because we have Jesus, like the propitiation for our sin. That is like the payment, or the one who took away our sin or our debt. So if you guys are wrestling with sin right now, we would love to talk with you. We'd love to get in contact with you and encourage you to look to Jesus, our eternal hope. That you're not left alone in the situation you're in, but we're here to help you, and we're here to point you towards Jesus. Lane, Tyler, any thoughts?
Yeah. Speaking of just like feeling discouraged and feeling out of whack or whatever, or like getting to the point in your spiritual walk where you're like, is it even worth it for me to keep going? Should I just stay where I'm at? Like, the Bible clearly tells us, like, we're never too far gone. Like, Christ is always with us. It always takes courage and strength to admit our own faults and our own failures, but we are surrounded by a fellowship of believers, and we have Christ to forgive us. So if we only ask for help, he will freely give it. So never think you're too far gone. Never think you're too deep. There is hope.
Yeah. I was reading Colossians last night, and it kind of goes along with some of the 1 Peter stuff we've been doing and what you just read too, Tyler. And Colossians 4 verse 2 says, continue steadfastly in prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving. At the same time, pray also for us that God may open the door for the word to declare the mystery of Christ, on account of which I'm in prison, that I may make it clear, which is how I ought to speak. So first of all, we're supposed to, like we've been talking about, remember what God has done for us and be thankful for it. And that fights against some of these sin problems that we have. The more we focus on what is good, the less we focus on what is bad. And it frees us. We understand that we have been freed already because of what Jesus has done, like Tyler's talking about. And always keep in mind that even in the middle of all of this, we still have a purpose. And that purpose is to tell people about Jesus, is to point people towards Jesus. Pray for that opportunity. Maybe it's with your neighbors. Maybe it's with random people that you see when you get to go out to a grocery store. Maybe it's with somebody on Zoom, but that's still the mission. That's still why we're on planet Earth, is to introduce people to Jesus. So don't forget that. And if you are being held down by sin, sometimes what the devil will do is try to convince you you're like Lane was saying, you're too far gone, or you couldn't possibly do anything on the account of God, or you're wrestling too hard with sin, God can't use you. That's a lie. Like, you give that junk to God, you repent of it, you turn your back on it, and you fully pursue Jesus, and you say, Lord, give me the courage to stand up for you, and give me the opportunity to do that as well. And he'll use you, because that's what you're here for. That's what we're here for. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here. As always, for Lane and for Tyler, I'm Tyler. Stay classy and stay bright.